Hi, today we're going to understand how we can convert a Notion form into a PDF file. So as you can see, we have got an information request form in the background, and once the details are filled in the information request form and a submit button is clicked, all the responses will be captured under the responses tab that we have over here. So I've already gone ahead and I have created two different responses from the form. What I want to do is I want to create an automation setup wherein every response that is captured will be converted to a PDF file, and I will be able to see the PDF file right inside the database. For this, I will be using a tool known as PDF Output. PDF Output helps you create PDF files from Google Documents as a source of template file using a Notion database. So let us understand how this will work. Click on Get Started and continue with any of your Google account, whatever you have on your account. So I'm just going to quickly sign in with one of my accounts from this list, and then we will see how we can set up the automation. So the first thing that it asks you is adding the Notion database. So we need to add this particular database which we have. Then we can add the Google document, which will be the source of template file. After that, we need to map the properties of the Notion database that will be visible onto the document, and then we can set up the automation to run forever. So let's add the Notion database at first. Click on the drop down, click on Add Notion database. And what we need to do is we need to simply copy the title of the database, whatever we have on our account. So I'm going to copy the title of this database which I have, and then we are going to add the database onto the setup page. So click on next over here. We have two options. Either we can go with a template that I've already provided. So this is a demo database which it will create a copy of on your workspace, which you can use for the automation setup. Since I already have the database available, I will click on select pages, and I will click on select pages once again. Okay. In here, what we need to do is the database title which we have already copied, I need to put it inside the search pages window. As I put it, it will be able to showcase all the databases that matches the description, and I'm going to add this information request form. So I'm going to click on this, and now it will be added to the list of everything that has been added earlier. Okay, so let me remove the other ones which I do not need. So all you need to do is copy the database title and put it inside the search pages. Okay, that is how I recommend you to do that. Do not add the database by simply selecting on these pages from here, because it will take a while to load the database and your experience may not be smooth as you expect. So always add the database by copying the title and putting it inside the search pages. Another thing which I want to highlight before we move on is, if you have a relational and roller property inside the database and your relational properties are connected to other databases, so make sure you are adding all the databases that you are using inside the search pages. As an example, in this case, we have information request form. So this is the main database. So add this database over here, as well as any secondary databases which are connected to the relation. Those must also be added through search pages. Unless you do not add all the databases, the relation and roller properties will not be visible for mapping, and you will not be able to see those properties when you are going to generate the PDF file. This is very important thing to understand. So thus ensure that you're adding all the databases through search pages. Once that is in place, click on allow access, and now it will give you access to the database inside the Notion database section. If by any means you are not able to see the database, simply refresh the page once, and you will be able to see the information request form pop up inside the Notion database section. Okay, so you can see the information request form is showing over here. And now if you scroll down, you will be able to see all the properties of information request form database that we had over here. Okay, so all the properties that we have over here is also visible in this mapping section below here. So this will be used to map the properties onto the Google document to create the PDF file. After this, we need to add the document from here. So click on add Google document. You have two options: either select an existing document or go with a demo document. So if you click on select existing document, it will open up the window where you can add any existing document that is there in your drive, and you can select the document from this list and add it. Since we do not have any existing document, I will click on add Google document and I will go with the demo document. So this will create a demo document for my use case, which I can use for the automation setup. So let me simply copy the title once again, and I will rename this document by that title. So I will just rename it, and I will remove this and I'll put template. Okay, so this is my template which I'm going to use. Remove this customary welcome message which it is showing at the bottom, as we do not need it. Then we have the placeholders. Okay, so let me remove this as well. So what you see in here is every placeholder text that you have as properties over here are already added to the document for your use case. So we have first name, last name, email, additional instructions. So everything that you see over here are automatically created as placeholders inside the document. So it will replace these values from the values that we will have in the database, and it will create the PDF files on automation. As an example, it will replace the first name that we have inside double curly braces from the values that we have over here while generating the PDFs, and it will work like that. Okay. If you want to manually add any mappings from the properties onto the document, simply click on copy to copy the property value, and you can put it anywhere. So I'm just going, let's say I'm going to put it here. Use Control V or Command V on your keyboard. Okay. So this is a shortcut. Use the Control V or Command V to add the property onto the document live. Okay, so let's say I want to add the phone number. I will click on copy and I will simply map it over here. That's how easy it is. Okay, but I'm not going to do that since we already have all the mappings in place. One last thing to understand before we generate the PDFs is you can define the PDF file name from here. Okay, I want to generate the PDF file by the first name that we have over here. So I will select first name from this list. All the files will be named as per the first name that we have in the database. One more thing is, if you go to the database and scroll to the right side, you will be able to see that generate PDF column and PDF file columns have been added. So all the files which will be created will be stored under the PDF files column inside the database. And anything which is set to ready to generate, the PDFs will be created only for those records. So if you do not mark something as ready to generate, the PDF files will not be created. So make sure you mark the records as ready to generate for your requirement. So once all the things are in place, let me click on download PDF, and now it starts downloading the PDF right away. It will save to my downloads folder, as well as it will create a copy inside the database over here. Okay. So you can see the first file is out and the status is marked as completed and the file is also created. Let me click open so as to see how it has come out to be. And you can see all the mappings are intact and everything has been mapped from the database that we had over here. Let me see the second document. This also has all the mappings intact and everything has been fetched from the database to create the mappings. This is how simple and easy it is to use PDF output to create the PDF files. Okay. Now the best part of this tool is, if you go to the tool, you will have this option set up Notion automation. Click on this and now your automation is set up forever. Okay. What I mean to say is, if you now add any new records and you simply mark this records as ready to generate, it will automatically create the PDF file for you inside the database. So now you do not need to go back to PDF output to keep on generating the PDF files, because you have automatically created the mapping and you have set up the automation to run forever. Okay. So my recommendation is, when you're setting it for the first time, download the PDF like this and then put it on Notion automation setup. Just click on this button, set up Notion automation. And now when you're going to add any new records and set it to ready to generate, it will create the PDF files for you right inside the database. This is completely hands-free and it takes a few seconds to create the files. But this is the beauty of using the tool, and you can create all the files inside the database right away from here. Okay. So that is what my recommendation is, and you can obviously take advantage of the tool to create the PDFs like this. So I hope I was clear on my explanation. If you still have questions, go to the chat bubble at the bottom. Send me a message from here. I will be able to assist you with any queries. You even have an option to reach out to me through the contact section at the bottom that we have. Click on this and send me any message with whatever queries you have. I'll be happy to take up the issues. I also have a free demo session available. So if you want to book a free demo, click on this and I will be able to take you through all the things that I just showed you to help you out on board on this process. And you can see it has already generated the PDF file for the mapping that we had created earlier, and it created the document right over here. Okay, so make sure you're adding all the properties intact and it will create the PDF file right inside the database. That's it for this demonstration.